So what is FTP and how do you calculate it? FTP stands for your functional threshold power, which is essentially the amount of power that you can hold for an hour. To calculate your FTP, you can do one or two things. You can go out and do a 20-minute power test and take 95% of that power and you'll get your FTP. Or some people just simply double their body weight in pounds, and that'll give you an idea of what your FTP is. But if you're like me, you're not going to be satisfied with just simply knowing your FTP. You're going to want to improve that number and get stronger over time. And one of the big goals that I had, and that a lot of people have, is to break the 300 watt FTP target. Now, to get an FTP of 300 is easy. All you have to do is hold around 315 watts for 20 minutes and you'll have a 300 watt FTP. But how do you increase your fitness to the point where you'll be able to sustain 315 watts for 20 minutes? To get stronger, you can use several tools: a coach, Trainer Road, Zwift, whatever's most convenient for you. The tool I used was Trainer Road. But before I started using Trainer Road, I was working with the coach. My primary goal was to break the 300 watt FTP number. I had spent a lot of time in the 280 to 290 range, so I knew I was close, but honestly, it just started to feel unattainable. This was important for me to achieve this goal because I wanted to start racing and being competitive. To be honest, Trainer Road was never on my radar until 2020. And no, I'm not gonna go into a rant about the pandemic. But I lost my job, and after that, I thought, I need to save some money, and Trainer Road was the easy option. I was pretty skeptical because from what I had seen about it, it was just random bar charts, staring at a computer on an indoor trainer, and it wasn't that appealing. But I figured for the monthly cost, why not give it a shot? And I'm glad that I did. After using Trainer Road, the results came in pretty quickly, and I was surprised because although I was working with the coach, it seemed as if my training had not really been that effective. I did an FTP test to insert the data for the first time into Trainer Road, and it was around 290. Shortly after, I started the Sweet Spot base plan. Just after 4 or 5 weeks and doing a block of this training, and I was able to achieve the 300 watt goal that I had. To me, this was crazy because I had never seen that number pop up on my screen before. If you're new to training and you don't know what sweet spot training is, essentially it's your power range that is about 88 to 93% of your FTP, or about 75 to 85% of your max heart rate. This training specifically targets your mitochondria and makes your body more efficient at taking nutrients from cells and turning that into energy. But it's important to note, depending on what you're planning on doing on your bike and what form of racing, sweet spot training may not be something that you should focus on. For example, if you're doing more crits or track cycling, you probably don't want to spend a whole lot of time on sweet spot based training or threshold training. But if you're doing longer road races or grand fondos, for example, then sweet spot training and threshold training are a good thing for you to look at to improving your fitness. Essentially, your body is an engine, and you want to prepare it for the roads that you'll be driving on. One huge benefit with sweet spot and threshold training is you can get aerobic improvements and improve your power on limited amount of time. This is great news if you're somebody who has a family or a busy schedule. Try to focus more on doing threshold and sweet spot workouts if you want to increase your power. Just keep in mind that with whatever training you're doing, the key is to be patient. I didn't reach a 300 watt FTP until about 2 years into my cycling journey, and 1 year after I had been doing structured trainer workouts. So don't go in full gas expecting results right away and essentially setting yourself up for burnout. So if you want to get stronger, give sweet spot and threshold training a look. And if you want to know how I feel for threshold, sweet spot, and high intensity workouts, then check the video out on how I feel before my workouts. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.